What is up, guys? It's me. It is Wrestling God here, and you already know this is my first ever video. My first review for WWE I am doing. I know I'm a brand new channel, and I really want to thank you guys, whoever is tuning in right now. Might just be 5, might just be 10, maybe be, a little over 15, 20. I'm not looking for that many views right now. I'm just looking to get my name out there and just, share my opinion with the many other people that love the sport, the pure sport of professional wrestling. And sometimes you might not agree with my opinion. I would love for you to go in the comments and tell me why, and tell me maybe, defend your argument. As always, I would love for you to leave likes, because I know that helps me out. I think that does. I know dislikes don't help me out. And I know that there's a lot of people with great minds here on YouTube, and I just want to really want to be a part of that. So, starting off, a little bit about myself. I will be doing this channel will be more of I'll be doing lots of WWE reviews. I've been watching WWE since I was a kid, back in 2000 and I believe 2005 might have, my first ever pay-per-view event I ever watched was and I watched the match 5,000 times over. John Cena versus JBL, Judgment Day, 2005. Hell of a match. Still love it to this day. And that's what got me into professional wrestling. And I haven't, as a kid, I really wasn't able to watch the pay-per-views. There was like a stretch for, I believe, a year or two when my uncle would order every pay-per-view for me. That was 2007, 2008. And after that, I would just sporadically watch a pay-per-view here and there. Obviously because I didn't have the money and my parents really didn't want to buy it for me. So, and I was always a big SmackDown guy. The Undertaker will always be my all-time favorite professional wrestler, or sports entertainer. He was the first wrestler I fell in love with as a kid, because my brother who grew up on wrestling as well, loved the Undertaker. So naturally I began to love the Undertaker, and I think I've fallen in love with professional wrestling more than my brother has. He's lost it. He's now an adult, and if there's ever an event, he will take me, and he'll kind of know, but he's a lot of new guys. He's kind of weirded out. He always asks, "What the hell is the Undertaker doing?" I keep telling him that the guy's a part timer. What else? I do go to a lot of events. Whenever I'm from Detroit. Whenever the events do come to Detroit, I do come. I actually will be attending the NXT. Sorry guys, I have a cold, and I hope you're really not, okay. But NXT will be coming to Detroit March 3rd, and I definitely will be there. But then, the hard part is Monday Night Raw will be in Detroit the week after. So it's kind of like, what the hell do I do, But I think I'll just go to NXT, and then if I get lucky enough to go to Monday Night Raw, I will. I've been to 3 or 4, maybe even 5 Monday Night Raws. I've been to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. I've actually never been to an actual paper. Oh, I've been to Night of Champions 2013 when Daniel Bryan had that controversial win over Randy Orton. I still remember that. I've been to live events, 2 live events, couple Monday Night Raws, and yeah, that WrestleMania. So I've never been to an NXT event, and NXT right now is my favorite WWE brand. My favorite overall product right now would be New Japan Pro Wrestling. I discovered New Japan Pro Wrestling honestly because of Finn Balor, Prince Devitt. Because he signed, I was like, oh, who's this cool guy with all this paint and all this stuff? And I found out he's from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I found out about a lot of these guys like Jushin and Kazuchika Okada and Tetsuya Naito and LIJ and the Bullet Club and Taguchi, Tanahashi, Suzuki. Okay, I'm naming a whole bunch of New Japan guys right now, but you guys know. So also as well as doing the WWE reviews for shows, and previews and predictions for their big shows. I will also be doing previews and predictions and reviews for New Japan shows. So I hope you guys will obviously like that right there. I know I'll be one of the very, very, very few doing that one. You don't really see many people doing that. I'm trying to be a little bit different there. And what else do I want to give you guys a little bit of information? And I will be doing WWE 2K18 gameplay. Maybe not my career, but some universe mode. Give you guys a little in-depth look into my fantasy booking. I think this is where I want to use right now. Fantasy booking. I really think that's what it is. So obviously, I really don't have much more to say. I know it was a pretty long intro there, and I really don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I know you got a lot of time, a lot of stuff to do, or you could just be really bored right now, so you're listening to my brand new podcast. So you know what? We're going to get straight into it. This is a Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw from January 15th, 2018, emulating from, I believe, San Antonio, Texas. And hell, guys, we had a solid Raw last night. I am not going to lie to you. Raw, for all the crap we give it, has been having solid shows these past couple weeks. There's always a show here and there where you're like, oh my god, the show is dragging. But this show here, it proved itself. Obviously, we knew it wouldn't be that great of a show because we knew it would kind of be like a placeholder, kind of a show to get us to where we're going to next week, which is the 24th anniversary of Raw. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. I'm glad I've been able to, live through the Ruthless Aggression era. I wasn't able to live through the Attitude era, sadly. But the Ruthless Aggression era and the PG era is my era. So, it's going to be great to see. And we started off Monday Night Raw with Braun Strowman, who I believe should be and honestly will be the next Universal Champion. Braun came out and told us going to tell us a story. A story. And I honestly believe Braun Strowman is the next Stephen King. Because this story here was short, but it was to the point, and I saw children crying. It was just a beautiful story. It was one of those stories you're going to read your kids one day. I promise you. They're going to be publishing this. It's going to be a New York Times bestseller, okay? Braun told us a story, and he tells us, I believe he said, a monster, was it a beast, meets a machine, and they are both conquered by a monster among men. That's it. Kurt Angle comes out. And Angle talks about Braun Strowman's actions from last week, of course, with Braun Strowman getting that grappling hook. And I'm not making this up if you haven't watched Raw last week or even seen the highlights of Raw last week. It's grappling hook and brings down part of the Raw set on top of Brock Lesnar and Kane. But Kurt Angle was flanked by security, so at first I'm thinking he's gonna have Braun arrested and escorted out of the building, kind of like how they used to do with Dean Ambrose. He says, sorry, I'm sick, I'm getting over this cold, I'm gonna do this the best I can. He says Braun's actions from last week were unacceptable. He talks about how Braun is an endangerment to the employees, how there's backstage staff, how there's all this other stuff that he has to worry about, and how he has to worry about an entire roster. Braun just does not care at all. Braun says he does what he wants when he wants. He said if he wants to rip Suplex City apart or knock the door to hell down to win the Universal Championship, that's what Braun Strowman will do. Braun looked very, very confident on the mic tonight, and it was very nice to see, someone really coming into. I feel like we've really seen a homegrown talent, really, and what people fail to realize, and what I give credit where credit is due, this is a very hands-on Vince McMahon project, and you can kind of see where it's kind of overdone at sometimes, and you can kind of see where that creative genius kind of works at sometimes. So you can see how Vince is very hands-on with Braun Strowman. But let's get back to this. Kurt Angle then proceeds to fire Braun Strowman and pulls him from the triple threat at the Royal Rumble. More on that later. Kurt Angle leaves, and Braun Strowman follows with the security behind him. I would have thought the security would try to get in front of Braun, but smart move not trying to get in front of that man. It's nice to see that consequences actually exist once in a while in WWE. We go backstage. Braun is pretty pissed, and he threatens those security guys. We go to a commercial break, and then we come back from the break. The security guys are still trying to calm down Braun. The security guys try to make Braun leave, and they get killed. Obviously, they were indie guys, indie workers that know how to take bumps, and I really appreciate these guys. you guys really don't understand. You know, it's kind of hard to take some of these bumps. These guys were being thrown at the table. One guy thrown at the table. Thrown into, you know, when you have a store and you bring like a garage thing, because, you know, it's not inside the mall, but it's outside, and you put it on the garage thing, like the garage closer. Threw one guy into that. It's just, and one guy tried running away, and he just killed that guy too. And Braun, with the line of the night, says he isn't leaving until everybody gets these hands. Please give me a Braun Strowman "Everybody Gets These Hands" t-shirt. I need that. I need that in my life. We come back and we have The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro against Titus Worldwide, Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, flanked by Dana Brooke. And actually, this was a pretty good tag match. Solid tag match. I know you guys probably wonder, like, what's he thinking? You know, I kind of, with WWE, for after all these years, I've kind of learned to take the good with the bad. You know, you got to pick little things that are bad and little things that, you know, you can find some good in. So that's kind of what I do. A pretty good match here. Both teams are very competitive. We did get a commercial break, and the match ended up going 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Apollo Crews is just so athletic and good. I think his problem, and maybe where some of the higher ups might have a problem, is Apollo kind of has no personality. He doesn't really have a personality. You know, kind of like a guy like you know, what's a good example? What's a good example? Finn Balor, when you don't let him be Finn Balor. Kind of like NXT Finn Balor. There really wasn't a personality there. He was just a happy to be there NXT champion kind of guy who put on great matches. But things got interesting when Titus got thrown onto the outside, and Jason Jordan music hits, and he comes out, and this distracts Sheamus, allowing Apollo Crews to roll him up for the win. Obviously, like I said, the match went 10 minutes 55 seconds. I'm actually a fan of this because I think I know where it's leading. I'll talk about that later on with the main event, but I believe this is leading to a fatal 4-way tag team match at the Royal Rumble, which I think could possibly be a show stealer. I really do think this could possibly be a show stealer. Oh wait! Breaking news. One of the Uso brothers was arrested for a DUI last night. Wow, that might affect the complexity of that 2 out of 3 falls match. But okay, moving on. The post match, Rollins was seen berating at Jason Jordan, like, "What are you doing?" You know. And then Braun Strowman finds Kurt Angle's office and completely obliterates it and leaves everything in ruins. And Strowman, man, love the booking with Strowman. For next week, voice crack. All these ladies, these beautiful female competitors from the past of Monday Night Raw and just WWE in general were announced for next week. Kelly, Jacqueline, the Bella Twins, who were already announced, Terry Runnels, Michelle McCool, and Maria Kanellis, which is a very interesting one. She's a SmackDown Live superstar. But obviously, what's been announced for the show, guys like AJ Styles will be on the show, which I hope he will have interaction with the club, with the Balor Club. Sorry. Randy Orton will be on the show next week, you know. And Chris Jericho, the free agent Chris Jericho, who had a hell of a match at Wrestle Kingdom 12, will be on the show as well. So Braun, moving on, Braun invaded catering. It was so funny. This guy had to be hired to do this. Said, Braun Strowman is coming, and no one runs. And poor Kurt Hawkins. Poor Kurt Hawkins. Proceeds to try to go eat, and Braun just sees Kurt and kicks his ass. Now, hey, let's talk about it right now. That's not a loss for Kurt Hawkins. So technically, there could be one tie on Kurt Hawkins' record. And then you just see this guy standing here trembling, hoping that Braun Strowman does not take him. He's holding a platter of chocolate cake. It's already cut up. And Braun just takes the piece of cake and eats it and walks away. Great stuff there. Enzo and Tony Nese come out of the Zoe train. Enzo doing his usual promo. and he obviously promises to walk out of the Royal Rumble with the Cruiserweight Championship. Out comes Goldust with Cedric Alexander. He calls Enzo a straight-to-DVD product. Yeah, that really didn't pop the crowd. And Cedric proceeded to try to do Enzo's shtick. Really didn't get a reaction from this crowd. We go backstage again. Braun Strowman is destroying the backstage area. Cedric and Tony Nese had a pretty decent match tonight. Man, I missed the Cruiserweight Classic because these guys could have tore it up if they were in that. But yeah, it's a pretty solid match for what the time they got. They got 5 minutes and 47 seconds. This match ended with a lumbar check by Cedric Alexander. It's time for Cedric to win that championship. The division needs a breath of fresh air, and maybe, come WrestleMania season, maybe, the newly signed, early announced today, the newly signed Ricochet can join 205 Live. So, Angle then goes and says he's going to call the police and the SWAT team to deal with Braun after the referee tells him Braun is going for the production truck. I'm pretty sure if you were a hardcore fan, the one thing you were thinking was, if he gets his hands on Kevin Dunn, this will be the greatest segment ever. But he did not get his hands on Kevin Dunn. Kevin was probably in Vince's office. Braun heads to the $12 million production truck, threatening to destroy the inner work. And the funny thing, he's walking up to every little part of the production. He's like, what does this do? I'm gonna shut down the show. What does this do? It was pretty funny. Braun gets into the semi truck and detaches it from the production truck. And then this big motherfucker tips over the semi truck, the half semi truck. Braun's in the arena now. He scares commentary away, and it was Booker, Corey, and Cole. And Booker gets out first out of all of them, and Cole goes to run, but Booker pushes him back, like, nah, bro, you go get this work. And he grabs Cole. Braun Strowman grabs Cole like a freaking dog grabbing, I don't know, a toy, and just picks him up. And Kurt Angle comes out and says Stephanie rehired him and he's back in the triple threat match, and he throws Cole anyway. So and what made this night great, Tom Phillips came out, the guy from SmackDown Live, my guy Tom Phillips from NXT. He's a very suitable replacement for Michael Cole in long term, just my opinion. We get Asuka versus Nia Jax, which honestly was the second best match of this night. The first best match we obviously know was the main event, which really delivered. But this Asuka versus Nia Jax match was just one heck of a match. These two women really told a good story, and really built up Asuka for next week while not damaging Nia Jax. It was a very back and forth match. We did get a commercial break. The finish came when Nia Jax tossed Asuka to the floor, and Nia Jax climbed the steps. Asuka trips her up, and Jax was now favoring the knee. Jax beats the count, but then she can't stand, and the referee stops the match. Asuka defeated Nia Jax at 10 minutes and 40 seconds by a referee stoppage. We get to the backstage segment. The refs, the trainers, and Alexa Bliss are all checking on Nia Jax, as well as Enzo Amore. Jason Jordan meets in the back with a very distraught Kurt Angle. He thanks Kurt for believing in him. He also says he's been watching Kurt's back from Braun Strowman, but tonight he wants to help Rollins after losing last week, and Jordan wants Angle to book Balor versus Rollins. The commentary team then mentions up that Cole is shaken up, but he is okay. We get a beautiful, very beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Sorry, can't talk. Tribute. Alexa Bliss. Then we go to Alexa Bliss apologizing to Nia Jax for getting her into this mess. Enzo arrives. Oh, I skipped over that. Enzo arrives and Bliss tries to tell him to leave, but Nia Jax wants Enzo to take care of her. We get the Revival, but they got a jobber entrance. But the Revival, they beat Aaron Solo, Bailey's boyfriend, and some other jobber. They win with the Shatter Machine in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Post-match, they cut a very scathing promo, but I think everyone knows they're getting their asses kicked by Legends next week. Elias comes out with the freaking song. Elias is a star, man. Elias would be, he belongs on Monday Night Raw. He really does. He belongs on Monday Night Raw. I feel like they see something in him. That would be a great idea. I was thinking, The Rock dueling off with Elias Sampson. He wishes Michael Cole obviously he would, because Michael Cole is the only guy on the commentary team that gives this guy a chance every week, and praises his singing, sarcastically, but you gotta have your supporters. He sings about getting retribution on John Cena at the Royal Rumble, and then he sings about the arrival of Miz, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas. Obviously this promo I didn't watch. The promo that the Miz cut. I'll take a shower at this point, because I figure if I take a quick shower, it'll be alright. I came back at the beginning of the match. Not really much to talk about. Roman Reigns versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. We all know what was going to happen. The finish did come when Axel would try to roll up Reigns for 2, and spear by Reigns. LOL, Reigns wins at 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Sorry. The match went way too long, honestly, in my opinion. Sasha Banks with Mickie James against Bayley against Sonya Deville, with Mandy Rose and Paige. Pretty good match here. Sonya Deville finally gets a win on TV, which is pretty cool. From what I see in NXT, she's a pretty decent worker. Still has things to learn. But the finish will come when Banks would try to fly off the ropes, and Deville would hit a kick and knocking Banks out for the victory. We get another video seeing the WWE superstars look at the MLK Museum. Jordan meets with Rollins. A little bit of tension teased here. Rollins got to him like, hey, don't make matches for me. But Matt Hardy, delete. Had a match against Heath Slater, Heath Jobber. Poor kids. He could win. He finally has a new Titantron after using the Hardy Boys Titantron last week. Not really much to say there. And it's announced that Goldberg is going to the WWE Hall of Fame. Very well deserved there. Nothing but respect for Bill Goldberg. We get to the main event. Seth Rollins, who's on fire tonight, along with Finn to sweet real rock and roll Balor. And these two proceeded to have a hell of a match. Now, some people mentioned the fact about the first apparently false finish, where the referee appeared to count 3. In my opinion, I believe that was set up that way. I believe that was set up so there's doubt, and maybe that leads to a match next week on Monday on Raw 25. But hell of a match here, man. The finish would come when Sheamus and Cesaro come out and they brawl with Jason Jordan and the Good Brothers. Balor comes out with the Top Con Hilo and wipes them all out. Comes in, hits the enziguri, the double stop misses. Jordan trips up Finn Balor, and Rollins goes old school with the blackout. I guess they're calling the blackout. It used to be called the curb stomp. And if Seth Rollins gets to win at 15 minutes 30 seconds. And one thing I want to say about that, I feel it was the perfect booking. People say, why would you do that out of nowhere? It was the perfect booking because Seth Rollins was desperate for that win. He looked very desperate, and he had some heel tendencies there, which I kind of like to see. Now, personally, what do I see both of these guys doing next? I see Seth Rollins, in a segment with Sheamus and Cesaro somewhere. I see Gallows and Anderson being added to that match, like I said earlier. And honestly, I kind of see the Balor Club, having some sort of segment with AJ Styles, or maybe even, Kevin Nash or Scott Hall, kind of, giving these guys the rub, for the Too Sweet and everything. That's kind of what I see there. But hell of a main event. Balor looked a little shooken up after that. I think people say, Balor's hurt. I think it was just to sell that the blackout's back, and it's a dangerous move, and it was banned for a reason. That's what I think personally. But of course, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. This was easily the best thing on the show. This show tonight, I give it an 8 out of 10. Very good show. The show is really built on 2 things: Braun Strowman and wrestling. And that's what I liked. It was built on 2 solid foundations. So, hey, Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Wrestling God here, signing out. See you when I see you. Peace.